Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, June 2022. Taurus, the big news is that Venus is still in your sign and will continue to be there till June the 23rd. So it empowers you. When the planet that rules you is in your sign, you really kind of get more life force, more enthusiasm, more energy. You become more like yourself. Of course, Venus in your sign can make you more attractive. Can be great for any beautifying routines and regimes, can improve relationships and your magnetism, you're more magnetic. It's great time to start new things as well when the planet that rules you is in your sign, especially around 11th till 15th. Venus will conjunct two planets of new energy, Uranus in the North Node, and it can get a bit crazy and exciting around that time where something very new appears in your life. And that you feel very passionate, excited about, you didn't expect it, it came out of the blue. Then Venus makes a square around the 18th, 19th of June with Saturn. There might be some disappointment around that time, or you have to put more effort into something if that new thing came to make it happen. But then Venus starts making good aspects after the 19th, so things get resolved positively. But let's start day by day. June the 3rd, Mercury turns direct in your sign, in Taurus. That's the last degrees of Taurus. So Mercury turning direct will help, especially the first week. You'll start seeing that something is escalating because Mercury squares Saturn. There's still some difficulty there. Things are still going slow. Things still feel a little bit blocked, but it escalates and it starts getting resolved. And by the end of the first week, the beginning of the second week of June, you'll start feeling like you can breathe easier, some problem is resolved in your life, especially involving communication, writing, speaking, relationships with people, even financial matters because Mercury rules your second house, and even love matters because Mercury rules your fifth house, or some creative project or problems with children that you've been having. They get resolved, they start moving forward. If something was delayed with creative problems, with money, with finances, or with romantic relationships, it improves and starts moving forward. Or if any problems involving Mercury, like papers, documents, negotiations, business, social media accounts, credit cards, Mercury rules so many things. They will start, first they might be a final push around the moment it goes direct, but then things turn really smoothly a week or 10 days into June in such matters. At the same time, when Mercury is turning direct, Saturn is turning retrograde around the 4th of June in your 10th house, Taurus. And that will last for around 4 or 5 months. So it can be a time when you feel like things slow down in regards to your career, in regards to your ambitions and worldly responsibilities. And it's like reorientation process the first 15 days of June, because the direction is changing there, the wind is changing. Some of you might start reevaluating the direction of their career, reevaluating certain job or project, and need to rework it or edit it, and it might take quite a few months actually. Others might feel a dissatisfaction starting to grow in a certain area of career, or in certain aspect of their career, especially in the structural aspect of business, or with bosses, with institutions, with authority figures, that need to be reworked on and reorganized and done more efficient, and overcomplicated things removed and streamlined, such processes of structure, of order, organization. For others, it can indicate going back to some career project or going back to an old career, or if you're working already on some project, it might start becoming a bit more complicated, so you have to fix certain things, improve it over a few months. There might be some delays, there might be some frustrations that you're like, it's not going how I want, but it will be reworked to a better level because Saturn is in its own sign, and usually you'd see this final result of some career project or something connected with your reputation or your social status, sometimes even connected to marriage overall. 10th house can be also that, will be restructured, reorganized with some extra attention and focus without rushing, slowly, over the next few months, starting from June now, till something much better comes out, something that is more sustainable long-term. It might be kind of more, smaller in size, or but more efficient, more focused, more better organized, more professional, you know, so, and it might require you more focus and harder work in those areas as well. Then another level is that Mercury moves to your second house on June the 13th, and you will be, Mercury moves from your sign to the second house. So your mind and a lot of communication can happen around resources, finances. You might become more interested in reading about food, about money, about investments and doing such things. Mercury is doing good aspects there, so these are good things to do. You might do some traveling, gourmet traveling, second house is to eat, you know, Mercury is to travel. And it's in its own sign, so it tends to have positive effect, Mercury, from June the 30th on your finances. To organize the Mercury's, to put order, to experiment, to learn something new, to research something new about finances, resources, assets, anything tangible that you use. Then June the 14th, there is a full moon in Sagittarius, your 7th house, your 8th house, Tauruses. Here it is. There'll be a full moon there for considerable time, about 2 weeks from that full moon till the end of the month. They might be focused on taxes, maybe completing something connected to taxes, maybe insurances. For some of you, mutual finances and resources. If you've been trying to gain access to other people's resources or clients' resources, you can see the results of something you've started in the past. You can get rewarded for that. If you're expecting some support, mental, financial, emotional from outside, something that you already know about, you've been expecting, it can come to you from that period on. And you can have some very deep psychological realizations about secrets that come to the surface that kind of liberate you almost. 8th house is the moksha house of liberation, that release you from something. And you might have some very deep encounters or conversations or emotional connections on a more intimate level, on a more discussing more deeper matters, letting someone in on a deeper level as well, or realizing something very profound. We might have some breakthroughs with a psychologist, hypnosis, or astrologer. 8th house rules all such practices that give you answers to deep questions from the subconscious, some deep realizations there. Okay, and then around June 11th, 19th, we talked about what Venus is doing, some kind of new things. Venus with Uranus. Uranus is another ruler of your 10th house. Something new in regards to your career can appear. Rahu there, something exciting. You might feel around those periods, Uranus, Rahu, as a Venus person, quite overly excited, quite passionate as well. Uranus is erotic energy as well. Rahu is as well. But then because Saturn squares Venus as well, there might be some kind of a break that appears after that, to kind of, you know, wake you up a little bit. And it's not only about erotic or relationships, it's getting excited about something new, but then some snag appears, like I said, Saturn, that you have to reevaluate, and then things improve. And then Venus, your planet, moves into Gemini in the 2nd house from the 23rd of June, where it can improve your finances, resources, enjoyment of pleasant 5 senses experiences of all sorts. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this month.